Hi, fans of high quality entertainment. I thought I would just kind of go through U2's latest album, Songs of Surrender, the deluxe version with 40 songs, where they redo a lot of their older material. And I've heard some of the album on Spotify, but I thought I would just go through it a little bit more and tell you my thoughts on it. But what I wanted to do is just tell my story about U2. The first album I ever heard of theirs was in 1984 with The Unforgettable Fire, and I loved it. I still love this album. And then I got War, which I loved, and then I went back and I bought Boy, which was a great debut album. And October was a little weaker, but I think in time I grew to love it quite a bit. So their early albums are great. And then, of course, the Joshua Tree, which was so popular back in 1987, and I saw them on their Joshua Tree tour in 1988. We had nosebleed seats at Exhibition Stadium in Toronto, and I really didn't enjoy it because it was so far away. You know, you could see them on the big screen, but it was pretty disappointing overall. But, you know, the album, of course, was great. And then Rattle and Hum, which I loved. And the movie. Then, my favorite U2 album, Hot Tongue Baby. Uh, yeah, every song. Zoo Station, even better than The Real Thing. One, The Fly, Mysterious Ways. And even the B-sides and everything, like Lady with the Spinning Head, the long version of that, I really love. Night and Day. Then Zooropa came out in 1993. It was a bit disappointing, but I love the opening track, Zooropa. Babyface, I've never been a fan of. Numb was kind of, the video for it with the Edge getting tied up and abused was kind of fun. Was never a big fan of Lemon. Stay Far Away So Close was really good. And The Wanderer, of course, with Johnny Cash was excellent. And then pop. Ugh. My first definitely disappointing album. I loved Discotheque, and I loved the humor of the video of them dressed as the Village People. But other than that, yeah, I didn't like the album. I still don't. But then they came back with All That You Can't Leave Behind, which was excellent for the most part. Especially the first few songs. Kite is one of my favorites. And Beautiful Day. Then How to Dismantle an Atomic Bomb came out in 2004. And I saw them in Toronto in 2005, and it was an excellent concert. It wasn't way back. We could actually see them. We were pretty close to them. And they're a great live band for sure. So I enjoyed that album. And then No Line on the Horizon I love the opening track, No Line on the Horizon. So some of it was good, but then there'd be things like Get on Your Boots, where they're trying to keep current with the young people and have these hit singles, and that kind of didn't do. I don't think it did as well as they were hoping. So overall, it was still not a bad album. But then Songs of Innocence, and that's when they put this album on everybody's Apple phone or iPhone, and I don't know. I just lost interest with them then, kind of turned me off. And then Songs of Experience I listened to on Spotify, and just, I don't know. Just not, didn't impress me. So now we're at of course, they keep remastering these albums. So now we're at Songs of Surrender. So let's go through, and I'll be able to play this on Patreon. So if I remember, I'll have the link for my Patreon site, and so you can watch it there, and maybe consider joining for as little as $2 a month. And there's probably close to 200 song and album reactions there. So let's go with one. It is, it's a classic song, a great song. There's no reason to redo it. And also to start this 40-song album with such a slow song, it's, I don't know. So next, Where the Streets Have No Name. This is seriously depressing. And I love The Edge. I love his vocals. He's a great singer. But this isn't even a group effort. I've heard that Larry Mullen Jr., has some health issues. I don't think he even really plays on this album. They've got some drum tracks from him, supposedly. And I just don't see the point to this album. All I Want Is You, possibly with The Unforgettable Fire, my favorite U2 song. And I think it's just, what is the point of this? You can't better, and I'm not saying, it doesn't all sound terrible. It's just, there's no point to it. It sounds boring. And actually, another band I love, Sparks, they actually did this back in, I think, 1997 with an album called Plagiarism, where they redid their songs. And it was kind of like the record company kind of pushing them to do it. And then they realized afterwards that what was there was really no point to it. And it was kind of a mistake. And I think this is a mistake for U2. If you're a fan of U2, that's great. And maybe you love this. And if you do, that's fine. But like I said, I gave up on them. And if I'd known back in the day, hey, in the future, you're not going to be a fan of U2. You won't even have any of their albums. I'd be pretty surprised. Because there was a time from about 1984 to 2005 or whatever, where they were next to the Beatles as my favorite band. And they just aren't anymore. I still, respect all of them as people. But, yeah. I'd love your thoughts on U2 and their latest album, Songs of Surrender. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. I'm depressed now.